Long ago, before the world truly understood what it meant to exist, there stood a tree. Not just any tree, a giant, eternal. Yggdrasil. Its branches held 9 realms: gods, giants, humans, elves, the dead. All lived somewhere in its limbs. And at the very center of it all, there stood one man, one god, one eye, Odin. Now, Odin wasn't your cozy, bearded grandpa with sunshine in his soul. He wore a hat pulled low, a long cloak, and carried a kind of darkness, the kind that knows things it shouldn't. And why only one eye? Because he gave the other away. For wisdom. Yeah. He walked up to the well of knowledge, looked the guardian in the eye, and said, "Take my eye. Give me what I seek." And he got it. And honestly, totally worth it. But that was just the beginning. Odin wasn't just wise. He was a world builder. He and his brothers took down the primordial giant Ymir, chopped him up like Sunday roast, and made a universe. Flesh became land, bones became mountains, skull became the sky. A bit gruesome, sure, but effective. Still not enough. Odin craved deeper truths, so he hanged himself. On Yggdrasil, pierced by his own spear, no food, no drink, 9 days and nights. All for runes, for knowledge, for power whispered by. He had spies too. 2 ravens, Hugin and Munin, thought and memory. Every day they flew across the world and whispered what they saw into his ear. Basically, ancient Norse Wi-Fi, more reliable than your router. And then there was his horse, not just any horse. Sleipnir, 8 legs, ran between worlds, and fun fact, Loki's kid. Yeah, don't ask, just know it works. Odin saw farther than any god. He stood on cliffs, gazing down at mortal battlefields, holding his spear, like a chess master watching the board. And when needed, he moved the pieces, but not always with weapons. Sometimes, just a whisper, to kings, to warriors. A word in the right ear at the wrong time can shape an empire. Yes, people worshipped him, with songs, with silence, with blood, sometimes even with themselves, tied to trees hoping to see the world the way he did, if only for a moment. In the halls of the Aesir, he often sat in silence. Thor thundered, Freyr joked, but Odin? He listened. Because when you know the future, sometimes there's nothing left to say. He read runes by moonlight, symbols older than gods, truths that didn't comfort, but warned. His spear Gungnir wasn't just a weapon, it was finality. Once thrown, it never missed. Once chosen, fate was sealed. Once long ago, he walked the world as a young god. No throne, no title, just questions. Snow on his cloak, wind in his face, fire in his mind. He spoke to wells, to wind, to the dead. And when they answered, he understood. Even gods have an ending. He wandered the fog of Helheim, where forgotten souls waited in silence. No place was forbidden to Odin, because he knew what waited at the end. When Ragnarok comes, he will ride. Not to win, but because it's time. He will face Fenrir, the great wolf, and he will fall. But he will fall, knowing that from this death, something else begins. Because Odin's death isn't failure, it's the price of wisdom. And Odin, he always pays in full, and maybe, just maybe, he still walks among us. An old man in a long coat, one eye, 2 ravens overhead. That is Odin.